My sister and parents stood in front of me with cold expressions. Their voices were firm and final. "You can't stay here anymore. Lisa, please leave. You're just depending on us." The words stung like a slap. They didn't want me or my dog around anymore. It felt like the decision had already been made without me. I swallowed hard and said quietly, "If that's how you feel, then I'll do what I want." Though inside, my thoughts were racing about where I'd go next. Let me tell you about myself. My name is Lee, and I'm 41 years old. I work as a freelance web designer. Thanks to the internet, I can work from anywhere with my laptop, and I've always loved the independence that came with it. My home office was my safe space, a place where I felt in control of my own life. But everything changed 5 years ago when my parents showed up at my house without warning. They walked right in, looking around like they owned the place. "Your house is big, Lisa," my mom said, her eyes scanning the living room. "It seems like we could live here too, especially with that spare room," my dad added, almost as if it was already decided. My stomach dropped. I never invited them to live with me. "Wait a minute," I said, shocked. "I don't want to live with you. What are you even talking about?" My dad's face darkened with anger. "You've basically taken control of this house, claiming it was from your Uncle Michael, and now you're acting like it's yours. You're sinking pretty low." I tried to explain. "I didn't just take it. Uncle Michael and I talked, and he agreed to give it to me. He wanted me to have it." But my parents weren't listening. They said their old house was falling apart, and they couldn't afford repairs. Since my mom didn't work and my dad's salary was too small to cover everything, they decided the only solution was to move into my home. I didn't want to leave them homeless, so I reluctantly let them stay. From the very first week, the snide remarks started. "Hey Lisa," Mom teased, "you're in your 40s now. When are you going to settle down?" They compared me to my younger sister Carol, who was married. "Look at Carol, she has a husband and stability," Mom would say, shaking her head. One evening, when I tried to defend myself, my mom snapped, "You're always on your computer. Are you even making money legally?" I bit my lip, then forced myself to stay calm. "Yes, Mom, I work honestly. I design websites, and I make good money. You don't need to worry about me." But nothing I said was enough. They always made me feel like the disappointment of the family. Then came the day the doorbell rang, and Carol appeared on the doorstep with 2 large suitcases. "Hey, Carol," I said, surprised. "What's going on?" She sighed and looked away. "I'm moving in. Didn't Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced." Without waiting for my response, she dragged her luggage inside and claimed an empty room. My parents rushed to support her decision, while I stood in the hallway, stunned. Life became even harder after that. Carol had quit her job after the divorce, and she spent most of her time gossiping with Mom. They laughed together, shopped together, and often turned their conversations into little attacks against me. "Oh Mom, do you like this dress?" Carol would ask, twirling in the living room. "It's lovely, Carol. You look so pretty," Mom replied warmly. Then Carol would glance at me and smirk. "Lisa could never wear something like this." Their whispers and giggles filled the house, and though I wanted to defend myself, I learned to stay silent. Fighting back would only make things worse. Still, I needed some happiness of my own. That's when my close friend told me about her new puppies. When I saw them, my heart melted instantly. One tiny black chihuahua caught my eye. His ears were too big for his little head, and his tail wagged so hard it nearly knocked him over. I knew right away, this was my dog. I named him Charlie. "Charlie," I whispered as I picked him up for the first time. "You're coming home with me." Bringing Charlie into my life filled the emptiness I'd been carrying. His tiny paws pattered across the floors of my house. His bright eyes followed me everywhere, and his playful barks brought joy to my workdays. Of course, my family wasn't thrilled when I brought him home. "We had no idea you were getting a dog," Mom scolded. "Don't dogs smell?" Carol wrinkled her nose. "How could you make this decision without us?" Dad demanded. I stood my ground. "It's my house, and Charlie makes me happy. I take full responsibility for him, and that's final." At first, they sulked, but within hours, Charlie worked his magic. My mom cooed, "Aren't you adorable?" My dad scratched his belly, and even Carol giggled when Charlie chased her shoelaces. For a while, Things were peaceful. Charlie became the heart of the home, softening arguments and bringing laughter. But peace never lasted long in this family. One afternoon, while I was out running errands, my phone rang. It was Carol, her voice tight with panic. "Lisa, come home, now." The call from Carol came when I was still outside, carrying groceries. Her voice was sharp, almost trembling with anger. "It's not what happened, it's what Charlie did. He peed on my clothes. Do you know how disgusting that is? What if they smell forever?" I paused in the street, gripping the phone tighter. "Carol, calm down. Just wash them quickly, and they'll be fine. Besides, you left your clothes on the floor. That's not Charlie's fault." "What?" she shouted. "Now you're blaming me? It's your dog. Lisa, your lack of training is the problem, not me." I sighed. To me, it was a small issue, but with Carol, everything turned into a storm. "Carol, listen. Charlie is still a puppy. Puppies make mistakes. If you take him out for a walk, he won't pee inside. Weren't you planning to walk him today? Did you actually do it?" Silence. She hadn't. I knew it before she even answered. By the time I got home, the tension was so heavy I could feel it the moment I opened the door. Carol was waiting, her face red with anger. My parents stood behind her like judges ready to pass their verdict. On the floor, a small pile of stained clothes lay crumpled. Without a word, Carol snatched them up and threw them at me. "You're paying for the cleaning," she spat. I held the clothes in my hands, stunned. "Why should I pay? You left them lying on the floor. You didn't take Charlie for his walk. How is this only my fault?" My parents immediately jumped in, siding with her. "Lisa, just apologize to your sister," my mother said, her arms crossed. "This mess happened because of your dog." "Yes," my father added firmly. "Take responsibility." I clenched my fists, anger rising. "Can't you cut Charlie some slack? He's just a puppy. Do you scold a baby for accidents? Of course not. Why should Charlie be treated like a criminal for something natural?" But they didn't listen. Carol crossed her arms, her eyes flashing with cruelty. "This is all because of that dumb dog. Honestly, Lisa, it's no wonder you never got married. You probably couldn't raise a child properly either." Her words cut straight through me. My chest tightened. "What did you just say?" I asked, my voice shaking. Carol smirked, enjoying my pain. "You heard me. You're pathetic. And you're ruining this home." My parents stood silently, their silence worse than her insults. For years, I had carried them, paid the bills, sacrificed my peace for their comfort, yet here they were, siding against me as if I were the outsider. Finally, I snapped. "Enough. Do you even realize who's been keeping this roof over your heads? Who's been paying for everything while you sit here criticizing me? Me, and you dare to tell me to leave my own home?" But instead of shame, their response was cold. "You should leave. Lisa, your presence only makes things worse," my father said flatly. Something inside me broke that night. "Fine," I said, my voice steady. "If that's how you all feel, then I'm done." I packed my bags quickly, my hands trembling but my mind strangely calm. Charlie looked at me with wide, worried eyes. I wrapped him in a towel and whispered, "Don't worry, little one. We're leaving this toxic place together." When the door closed behind me, I felt both pain and relief. I had no plan, only determination. Days later, my phone rang again. This time, Carol's voice wasn't arrogant, it was frantic. "Lisa, help. What's going on with the house? They told us we have to leave by the end of the month." I sat back, a bitter laugh escaping me. "Now you understand. Carol, the house isn't yours to live in freely. It's mine. Uncle Michael gave it to me. The title has been in my name for months." Her breath caught. "You're lying. You can't just sell it." "I can. And I will," I said firmly. "Do you remember when you told me to get out? Well, you should have been more careful with your words. Uncle Michael advised me to distance myself from people who drag me down, and that's exactly what I'm doing." In the background, I heard my parents' voices. They had been listening all along. "Lisa, don't do this. Think about us. We're your parents. Where will we go?" my mother pleaded. "If you're a good daughter, you won't throw us out," my father added desperately. The years of bitterness boiled over. "Respect? You've never respected me. You've always favored Carol, belittled me, doubted my work. mocked my choices. And now you expect me to save you? No, not anymore. You told me and Charlie to leave, remember? Well, now it's your turn. Their silence was deafening. For the first time, I had the upper hand, and I wasn't giving it up. Figure it out yourselves, I said coldly. Then I hung up, blocked their numbers, and shut the door on that chapter of my life. Charlie wagged his tail as if sensing my relief. I scooped him into my arms, pressing my face into his soft fur. I'm sorry you had to hear all that, Charlie, but it's over now. From here on, it's just you and me. In the weeks that followed, I moved into a sunny apartment where pets were welcome. I set up my home office near a big window, and every morning Charlie curled up beside me while I worked. I paid my own bills, kept my own schedule, and for the first time in years, the air around me was peaceful. Sometimes I heard rumors, how my parents pressured Carol to find work, how arguments filled their days, how nothing seemed to go right for them anymore. But I didn't chase those stories. Their lives were no longer my responsibility. One morning, as Charlie tugged at his leash, eager to go outside, I smiled. Come on, buddy, I said softly. Let's go to the dog park. It's a new day, and our new life is waiting. And with that, we stepped out together, leaving the past behind us, me, free at last, and Charlie, my loyal friend, trotting proudly by my side.